Welcome back. It's a pleasure. I have my cousin here, Jessica Cottrell, who is an amazing person who is saving the world one person at a time. Let's put it. In the previous segment, we were talking about I never heard it expressed quite like you did, the violence of birth. And we were talking about a physician spanking somebody just after they're born and how, traumatizing that was. And that would have lifelong implications. I mean, when you're a baby, in my opinion, the tape recorder starts running and you're beginning to absorb information about what the heck am I doing here? Where am I? And so that tape recorder records everything that's going on, all the experiences and happenings. And as you mentioned, this can have lifelong implications. So continuing that, you said something about your life's plan, your past life remembrance. I'm kind of like, birthing is like the gateway, right? There's the pre-existence and where we make up that soul plan, I guess. And then there's that birth, and then as you're in the world, do people remember exactly their birth? They remember their life plan when when you help them and you counsel them, do you take them back to that moment? Do they remember what it was like before they were born?
If it doesn't come through naturally through the rebirthing breathwork process, we definitely use what's called a conception meditation, which guides a person into a relaxed state. And we ask them questions and they free associate right answers out regarding their birth and their birth script or their life contract to help them with the process. We might do that before and after maybe 10 breathwork sessions to see where they're at with what they feel connected with. Most people will come to the conclusion they chose this life.
Well, that's amazing. As simply as you put, oh, they chose, well, of course. And then you can tell them why. And then I'm assuming that you can enlighten people to say, and that's why you came into the world and you're having a lot of difficulty because this time you chose to be whatever. Can you elaborate on that?
Definitely, they chose to fulfill family healing, healing the DNA, or helping maybe certain structures, society, or their family move forward in different ways. Their soul decided to pick a family that would be closest to the lessons that they needed to learn for soul evolution. And they came in and they realized those lessons, and then they start to heal so they can embody those lessons and learn and move forward.
You think it's when you help them discover this that it relieves a lot of uh, the uncertainty, or it gives somebody courage to say, okay, but the reason I was the oldest one in the family is because, you know, I need to be a leader to my siblings, or, I'm the so-called black sheep of the family. I don't fit in with anybody in the family, but I just had to be here in a hurry. I had to be here in this time in the world. I would suspect that people would be relieved to find out that really, really important information.
It definitely helps them to connect with their family when they felt like the black sheep. It helps them to see from a different perspective when they come into therapy because their parents were so terrible and now they're looking at them with different eyes. They see that they needed to have certain experiences, so they're able to forgive and detach.
So when people come in the world and you give them some energy work, what's that all about?
Oh, energy work. Well, I practice what's called either quantum healing, as you do, or pranic healing. And many times it's just to help people remove some energy blocks and to find a peaceful state, like a meditation, where I can then apply some healing energy that they might need because of illness or injury, or they might just have some leaks in their energy field. And when they can feel a clear channel of energy running through them, they definitely have the ability then to continue some techniques to help on their health, right? To help them stay healthy, to make healthy choices, to be in healthy situations.
So
It's very
what would that feel like for our audience who might be wondering what's energy healing? What does it feel like? What's it
well,
about?
like I was just telling you when I was at your Easter Sunday sermon, just this last Sunday, when you all lifted your hands and did an invocation and sent out healing to the group. As I was making my way through the kitchen, you could feel the tingles, you can feel buzzing all through your body, you feel love in your heart, you feel your aura, rise. Um, things that's what it feels like to me.
Well, you're a very sensitive person. You're quite intuitive. And we call that energy virtue, as it is in the book of Luke, where the Christ said, turned around, and he likewise felt virtue leaving him. And he said, you know, who touched me? Where did it go? He could feel the virtue leaving. So when you're in the audience that particular day, as everybody does, people have reported many times they've had a feeling of love or tingling or warmth come over them. So this energy is real. When you counsel people and they feel this loving energy coming from you, as you said, they can uh, absorb it in several ways. Have you ever had any astounding, right in front of you transformations of people being, aware or awakened or healed or anything
Um,
like that?
I've had three encounters over the last 7 years where someone has either been told they couldn't have children or conceive, or they weren't having their menstrual, and they instantly had a menstrual on the table, um,
Wow,
or they conceived within the next couple of weeks. That seems to be what I'm seeing.
pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I also relate that to like one of the last women, she was consistently going to get therapy for to have a baby. She keeps trying, keeps miscarrying, and I was able to see while doing the pranic healing that she in her last life did not want a baby because it was being forced on her, and she had those blocks up where she did not want this child. She did not want to conceive. It was almost abuse. So in this life, she was still carrying those blocks and a lot of resistance on her masculine side. So we had to help her understand that and, with the energy, help her be willing and receiving of energy to be able to conceive.
So what you're saying is people have experiences in previous experiences which are not so good, and they remember them in this lifetime.
Definitely.
How do you find out about that, or how do you zero in on that and help people relieve that centuries-old difficulty, perhaps?
Well, do you mean in energy healing or in general?
Well, when you counsel people and you've discovered or they've in your company you're counseling them and all of a sudden it comes up that back in the days of Rome they were a gladiator or something and or they were in the arena being fed to the lions or something, I mean I'm being perhaps over the top, but when that's discovered, what happens?
Well, we do know that scientifically trauma is passed through the DNA, and I do believe through reincarnation, our DNA is passed with us. And so we do discuss how trauma is passed down and how fear is, in the trauma and how do you want to resolve that? What do you want to do with this? Where do you want to go? How is it affecting you today? Let's connect the dots first and then learn techniques to heal that.
Well, it's amazing. Uh, there are people who say, this is only one lifetime, and I've never left, I don't believe that I've lived before, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm sure there's nothing like a little bit of experience when you go through that. People, when you come up with that, when you help people look really deep inside them, they must be surprised.
Well, I like them to lead, honestly. So if I see something first, I will wait. I will wait until they catch up a little bit. I'm not good. I usually, unless it's a psychic session where they're paying me for that information, I put it on the back burner until they're ready.
I guess that gives you a gigantic advantage being intuitive, and you're sitting there with people counseling them, and you kind of know exactly what's bothering them or where they need to go, and then you kind of let them go through this self-discovery process. That's kind of amazing, right? So
I love this line of work. I do. I felt destined to have found it. It's very satisfying to be able to be on the front lines with people.
So what's the name of that amazing website again?
www.violetflame-healing.com.
And that's how people can come and see you, make an appointment, and get some amazing results if they have a question or two.
Yeah, we have all of our services listed, but retreats, we do have another website for that, and that's violetflameretreats.com. And when we have a new retreat, we update it. Right now, Egypt is still on there, but we're about to launch a new retreat coming up soon.
Okay, hold that thought. We'll be right back.